this review, I'm gonna have to get dirty. Anyway, let's talk about Sicario, Day of the Soldado. This is, of course, a sequel to Sicario, the first one that came out a few years ago. I was looking forward to this because this, again, I love the first movie. The first movie I thought was really good. Emily Blunt was in it as well. She was sort of like this naive, sort of naive FBI agent who wanted to help with the war, the war against drugs on the border and stuff, between, in the conflict between the U.S. and Mexico. Okay, and this one takes place a few years later with the same characters, except thankfully her character is not in it because I found her character a little bit annoying. But this movie takes place a few years later, and this stars, of course, Benicio del Toro as Alejandro, okay, and Josh Brolin as Special Agent Matt Graver. You also have Isabella Moner in here. She played Isabella Reyes, and you also have Jeffrey Donovan in here as well. And Catherine Keener is in this, and you also have Matthew Modine. And basically, if you've seen the trailer, the story is about the cartels are smuggling terrorists into the United States, and because of a few things that happened, and you see in the trailer, the U.S. decides to go to war, basically with the cartels, or as as Josh Brolin's character goes, we're going to go to war against everyone. Or basically, they basically want to make the cartels. They consider the cartels terrorists because they help the terrorists smuggle them in, and they want them to basically eat each other, fight against each other and destroy each other. Okay, and so they enlist Josh Brolin's character, Matt Graver. They give him what he wants. And of course, he goes to get Alejandro from Mexico and say, "Listen, I need your services again. We're going to war, like you see in the trailer, against everyone." Now, the first part of this movie, or the first 2/3 of this movie, is actually pretty good. Again, Benicio del Toro, I can watch him act all day long. Him and Josh Brolin, they have good chemistry together, and they have their basic plan, like I said, to start the war against, and they have a plan, and the plan that they plot out, works smoothly. But of course, as being a movie, things don't quite work out the way they're supposed to. But the last part of the movie, or the last third of the movie, doesn't live up to the hype of the first 2/3 of this movie, and put it that way. And I don't know if they edited stuff out, which I think they might have, which I guess we have to wait to see when they release this movie on video, if there were the scenes that were cut out, because it seems like the second part of the movie, particularly for the last third, that they cut things out because characters reveal things that you go, wait a minute, what happened? And then characters they don't act the way they're supposed to act, put it that way. They don't act the way that you would expect them to act. They act the way they act, I guess, to serve the plot, which is not really a good thing. Okay, when you get characters acting not like their normal selves, or like you've seen them between the previous movie and this movie up until a certain point, and then characters start acting not the way they're supposed to. And I think maybe they cut things out because there's things that happen that you go, wait a minute, when did that happen? And then all of a sudden, characters just reveal things, and then you go, wait a minute. And again, like I said, characters, they act unlike themselves towards the last part of the movie, which kind of really, destroys the last third of the movie. Like the first part of the movie, I thought was great. The first thing, the whole build up and everything else, I thought was great, and even the middle part I thought was great. But the last third of the movie just really went south because, like I said, characters act out of character, okay, and things get revealed automatically, which makes me think that they cut out parts to this movie. This movie is 2 hours and 2 minutes, but I'm thinking this movie probably would have been longer if they cut out parts that probably would have made the movie a fuller movie, okay, and you can understand certain things. Not the characters acting out of character. That I thought was just really, characters acting out of order or out of character, just really, really just kind of destroyed the last third of the movie. Again, but I still think Benicio del Toro, great job as usual. Josh Brolin as well. I even like the young actress who played Isabella Moner. She plays a pivotal character. and I know that I've seen her in a few TV things, and I know she was in that last Transformers movie. I think she's a good actress, and she's gonna be a good star because I think she I like her character. And of course, Jeffrey Donovan, who used to be on TV. I forgot the show on USA. He used to be on a show for a long time. He plays it like a buddy of Josh Brolin's character, and I forgot the show where he's like the former agent and stuff. But I forgot what the show that was on USA for a long time. But like I said, you don't really get to know any of these characters, and it's not necessary for the plot. But again, the characters, what you've known of them, they act out of character towards the last part of the movie, which really, killed the kind of movie. So it's not as good as the first movie. The first movie I thought was just absolutely fantastic. Even Emily Blunt, who character, let's say her character was a little naive, okay, but even that still didn't destroy the movie. The movie was really good and really strong from the beginning to the end, even to the end. But this movie, the first part of it, the first two parts of it, but the last third really went south. And I don't know if that's because they edited those parts, certain parts out, and they made characters act out of character to fit the plot, which really uh, destroyed the last part of the movie for me. Did I enjoy it anyway? Yeah, I did enjoy it. There was a tension in the movie that you were, wondering what's going to happen, and we'll see how things play out. But I still enjoyed it, even though it's just not as good as the first movie. And they really screwed up the writing in the last part of this movie. That could have been just as good as the first one, but I think the writing let it down in the last part of the movie. Anyway, I'm going to give the movie a 7.5, and that's mostly because of the first 2/3 of the movie and because of Benicio del Toro and Josh Brolin. I thought they were great, but again, the last part, not so much. Last third of the movie, not so much. You have Catherine Keener in there. She plays some FBI. She plays a government flunky, and Matthew Modine, he plays I think he's defense secretary. I think that's his character. I think he's defense secretary. He's a real high government official in the government and stuff, and he's kind of the connection, one giving the go ahead to Josh Brolin's character, and he was okay. But I just really, the last part of the movie really let me down. Again, it could have been a nice sequel, but they kind of screwed up the last third of the movie for me. But I enjoyed it, yeah, but the last third of it really kind of, and I guess that's poor writing. Well, like I said, I think they had to edit stuff out, because especially in the second, because things happen that seemingly characters reveal things that you go, wait a minute, where did that come from? Okay, but that's just my opinion. Again, I'm going to give it a 7.5. Could have been better. Disappointed in it, but who knows what's going to happen in the future. Anyway, 7.5 for me. Anyway, let me know what you think if you've seen Sicario, de Soldado. I think I pronounced it right. Feel free to leave comments down below. I'll leave a link to my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram in the description box, as well as my other channel, Paul's Views and Opinions. Please check that out as well. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.